Hi guys, Liam here. This week's going to be a bit different. We haven't had much going on in the business as such, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of how we did the 2.5D/parallax images that you may have seen on our social media accounts. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Right, first off, what you've got to do is select the image that you want to use and bring it into Photoshop. You will need Photoshop for this, as this is the only way I know how to do it. Okay, so once you've got the image in Photoshop, what you want to do is you want to go around it with either the pen or lasso selection tool, and I'll quickly speed that up so you can see me do that quickly. Now, if you've used the pen tool, you can hit the make selection. And what I like to do is sort of between 0.5 and 1.5 pixels. This time we'll just go in the middle and go 1. That's the feather. So once you've got that selected, go and hit a new layer. Copy and paste that selection into the new layer. Once you've done that, you can select the background. And with the background selected, what you want to do is you want to hit Command and click onto the image of your selection, the new layer that we just made. And then Shift and delete. Now what that'll do, that'll bring up this box here, which basically lets you take that selection out of the original image, the background layer, and it will try and fill it in and make it look a bit more natural. Yeah, so once that's done, once you've done that, you may notice, like I have here because I've rushed through doing the selection, there's a few little bits along the edge that need to be sort of sorted out and made to look a bit nicer, so that when we do the moving effect, it looks a bit smoother and not as though the bottle was there in the first place. So to do that, we just use the clone stamp tool. So over here on the left, you just go on that, and then use the Alt click to choose the place where you'll be selecting it from, and then just go around the edges. Normally it's just the edges that need sorting out, but obviously if you want to do a bit more in the center, like here you've got my thumb, so we're probably going to get rid of that as well, just to sort of make it look a bit more normal in case the bottle does creep into that zone. Once you are all happy with your background now, you can copy both these layers and open a new file. So I'm just going to use a standard HD aspect ratio, and you guys can use whatever you want. A lot of people will be doing these for sort of social media posts and that sort of thing, so if you want to optimize it for Facebook or Instagram, then obviously you may as well do that at this point, rather than trying to then crop it later. In your new file, you want to paste the previous layers that you've copied into this new file on top of the background. So once they're both in there, this is where things start to get a bit more interesting, and click on the window tab at the top and hit the timeline. Now this will open the timeline bar at the bottom, or section, whatever you want to call it. Once that's open, you want to make sure that both of your layers that you've done here are both converted to smart objects, otherwise you won't be able to move them properly when you've created your timeline. So now you can create the video timeline. You can do either of those in any order really, it doesn't matter too much. We come into here, now we want to manipulate the image. So we go to the very beginning of the timeline, and if you hit on these little stopwatches next to the position, that will create a keyframe for the position, and now you can move both layers into their starting positions where you want them to start from at the beginning of the video. Once you've done that, you can then move to the very end of the timeline and then remove your objects. Now the cool thing about the keyframes is that once you have done the first one, when you move the object at the end of the timeline, it will actually just create another keyframe for you and you'll be able to run straight through it. So once you've moved them to the finishing positions, all you need to do is hit spacebar. That'll run through the animation. That'll run through the animation of the photo. You can just run that through a couple of times just to check, make sure you've got everything in the right place, and if you haven't, then you can do a few little adjustments here. But once you're happy with everything, all you need to do is go, as a standard sort of project, if you want to export something from Photoshop, you got a file, go there, hit the export, and then you'll see at the very bottom of here, just above Zoomify, you've got render video. You hit the render video, and then all you need to do is obviously name your file, select your folder, You can leave the rest of it as is if you've already chosen your correct aspect ratio and sorted everything out for that. You can leave it as it is out of here, and then hit the render button, and that will save it through to where you need it to go. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little tutorial as such. Let us know if you want more of these, because obviously we do a lot of different types of content. But yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed this, and have a good week. See you next week.